Okay, so let's talk about some other things. So broccoli and cabbage, we started indoors in our house in February, very beginning of February. Now you can start them indoors as early as January. They just get bigger. So it takes more room indoors. So we started ours around the beginning of February. The reason for that is that if you plant broccoli directly by seed outdoors, whenever the window opens, you may not get it in time. It takes, especially for the broccoli varieties that grow the large heads, you may not have it by the time it gets too hot. So we've adjusted our thinking on broccoli in a way, and now we grow more of these types of broccolis that produce a bunch of smaller heads quickly. So this one is in 50 days, you've got smaller heads that you can harvest, as opposed to some of these other ones, you know, like I know there's some that are 90 days in here, or like, yeah, there's some in here that are 90, where it takes you that whole time for that large head to develop. And with broccoli, we used to eat the whole head, but then you want to tell them about how we switched that?
Yeah, so a few years ago, we had a really bad hailstorm, and all of our plants just got destroyed. So we were like researching, what do we do with these? Because we felt so bad, like these plants are right there. We're like, can we eat these leaves? And we discovered that you could. They were edible. And a great way to prepare them is to stir fry them, and they taste incredible in a stir fry. Like he always says that they taste exactly like the inside of an egg roll, because that's cabbage inside of it. And oh wow, it tastes great. It adds a really great flavor to stir fries.
So we like broccoli more in that way than we do the full-size heads. You can also start broccoli. So if you're going to do those types, especially, you can start it from seed outdoors, just by sprinkling seed everywhere. One thing I want to mention on broccoli is, again, we used to think about growing as one plant. Now we'll sprinkle a whole section of broccoli seeds and then thin them down as they grow, and then leave the strongest one remaining, and then we'll eat those thinnings as microgreens. And okay, broccoli is going to have, so I mentioned this earlier with kale, broccoli is going to have the same pest problem with the cabbage worms. So these white moths, when you see them flying around, get rid of those. There's a cool salt gun you can get that's fun to go hunt them with. I spent like 2 hours one day in the backyard hunting these things with a salt gun.
He has way too much fun out there with that.
But again, I mentioned earlier that for these cabbage worms, you can use this insect netting, and you can put it over your plants, and that'll help. But this BT is, again, not a pesticide. It's a naturally occurring soil bacteria that helps control them. We've got it on there twice. See that?
Because it works that great.
Well, I know. Make sure they see it. Okay. So now let's talk about cabbage, because we planted it around the same time that we planted broccoli. And we have similar strategies with cabbage as we have with broccoli, in that we're not growing it for the large cabbage head. We're growing the varieties more like...
They're under bok choy.
They're under bok choy. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're growing more of...
Oh, thank you.
By the way, if you haven't got a coupon yet, we're giving away Smart Pots here in
about 10 minutes.
12 minutes.
Ooh.
10 minutes.
I said
minutes.
About 10.
Okay.
So.
12 minutes we're giving away
Give her a minute.
Smart Pots. Okay, so cabbage. These are the types of cabbage we typically grow that produce a bunch of smaller leaves.
It's also
Asian
called
cabbages.
bok choy.
Yeah, bok choy. Yeah. There's a lot of different types of them, but that's typically more of what we grow with cabbage, just because with a cabbage head, there's a lot of opportunity for things to go wrong without things growing. There's a lot of pests and tornadoes and hailstorms and everything else that can attack it. We're in Moore, so we're used to the tornadoes attacking us every other year.
Attacking us.
That's happening my whole life. I came out, they started attacking me. Cabbage, so it says transplant here, but again, you can sow it by seed, especially with the Asian cabbages. They do well from seed. As far as cooking it, it's basically the same as broccoli. We're chopping it up and put it in stir fries mostly.
It's great.
Although we do have a coleslaw recipe in here.
Yeah.
We don't have it.
Yeah, we do. It should be in there. Uh-oh.
What did I do?
I don't know what you did.
We do have a coleslaw recipe on our website. I don't like coleslaw typically, but this is a recipe that I actually do like. So we we all have cabbage for that. We'll also make sauerkraut, so you can ferment your cabbage and make sauerkraut as well. I don't think we have a guide for that yet. We need to make one of those.